In government, Tony Mizuko began Monday night's Finance Commission meeting with a presentation on the Light Department's financial structure. Mizuko covered many topics during this presentation, including depreciation, operating account, purchasing power, rate setting, and others. Following the Light Department presentation, Peter Fraser and Lisa Driscoll of Hilltop Securities presented a lengthy presentation to the board about the town's credit rating. To end the meeting, Russ McGuire, Airport Manager, provided an Airport FY20 financial update. The next Finance Commission meeting will be after the new year. Tuesday was a very busy day in town government with 4 meetings. The Board of Health met in the morning with a busy agenda. Stacey Lane gave an update on where you can get the flu vaccine in town. Lane also reminds her community that it is required to have the flu vaccine by December 31st in order to attend school or daycare. Board member Carolyn Riccardi also notified the board that Old Colonial Cafe owner Paul Angelo will be closing indoor dining and will only be open for takeout until hopefully January 2021, when he hopes to open his doors again to the public. With COVID numbers rising, we do see light at the end of the tunnel. Sigal Reese explains the vaccination process and how it will be administered.
Then just want to end with some light at the end of the tunnel. Vaccine. This started with yesterday. I think the first Massachusetts residents got their official vaccines that weren't part of the trial. Remember, there were thousands of people that did get the vaccine as part of the trial, so it has been very well tested. The state has rolled out, and if I could pull up another image, you know me and my images, I'm a very visual person. The state has rolled out their vaccine plan. It's a 3-phased plan, and within the first phase, these are actually listed in priority order. So right now we are in that first bullet point with clinical and non-clinical healthcare workers doing direct in COVID-facing care. So those acute care hospitals are really where they get the first Pfizer vaccine. And we're also seeing some long-term care facilities also getting vaccine at this time. We will move down that category, hopefully in the next couple months. At this point, we don't know when local health will be involved in the vaccination effort. We do think we will at some point, definitely in phase 3, but maybe even sooner. We have drilled and planned for many years to vaccinate our first responder partners. So we hope that we will have an opportunity to put those plans into work. And especially with the Moderna vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, because of its storage limitations in the sub-zero or ultra-cold temperatures, does present problems when you're talking about administering the vaccine in a community. But the Moderna vaccine is freezer temperatures, which we have the capacity to handle here. We have vaccine freezers and have the ability to do that. So hopefully this week, if the Moderna vaccine also gets emergency use authorization, that will start to roll out the end of this week, beginning of next week. And the trucks will start rolling on that vaccine too. And then we'll see additional doses come into the state. At this point, the state will get about 300,000 doses by the end of the month, they're estimating, the combination of both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine. And that will continue with the phase 1 vaccinations probably through February, March. We will hopefully enter into phase 2, where that will expand the population a lot as far as we can get the vaccine, as the vaccine availability increases. You'll see sort of the essential workers category in the second bullet of phase 2, which includes teachers, a lot of public works and public health officials, sanitation, food, agriculture, all those industries that really allow our economy to keep moving are in phase 2. And then when we get, hopefully in the spring and through the summer, we'll be working on phase 3 to get the rest of the population vaccinated.
The Board of Health will meet again after the new year. The Trails Advisory Committee met to recap some events before the new year. The meeting started with an update on some popular trails around Norwood and some upkeep, including good reports regarding the Hennessy Field Trail and the Fenwick Trail. Joe Greeley also discussed the idea of potentially adopting a QR code program for the Norwood trails, similar to the construction of the library's QR garden program. Kate Smith also presented a spreadsheet detailing the board's plans to reach out to the Norwood PTA to spread the word of the Trails Committee. The Trails Advisory Committee will meet again following the new year. The Zoning Board of Appeals met with 2 hearings on their agenda. First was a continued hearing from December 1st regarding open lot storage on Everett Street. There was some discussion on whether the case should be heard by the Zoning Board or the Planning Board. The ZBA eventually came to the conclusion that the hearing should be brought before the Planning Board. The applicant then filed a withdrawal without prejudices. The second hearing of the night was the ongoing gravel operation on University Ave. Representatives from both parties spoke about the non-permitted work that was being done. After a lengthy discussion from members of the board, they decided it was best to continue the hearing until the next meeting. This would give the board members time to review all the material and make a proper motion. The next ZBA meeting will be on January 5th. At the Selectmen meeting, Chairman Plasko had some good news. All applicants that applied for the Bach Fund were awarded. The board also held a public hearing with representatives of National Grid and DPW Director Mark Ryan. National Grid will be installing a new gas line under the intersection of Railroad Ave and Central Street. The work was approved with the condition that National Grid would pave the street after the installation. The board was also introduced to new library director Clayton Cheever. Cheever will be taking over after Charlotte Kennelly's retirement in January. The Selectmen will not be meeting again until after the new year on January 5th. The Airport Commission met briefly on Wednesday afternoon to approve lease agreements. The board unanimously approved the West Apron lease and DC-3 apron lease for Boston Executive Helicopters. The Airport Commission will meet again after the new year. The school committee met Wednesday evening with a number of appearances. Alan Slater of the Middle School Building Committee appeared with Compass and AI3 to provide an update on the middle school building project. Dr. Galligan and John Longley gave an update on the winter athletics season, and Segal Reese provided the latest public health update. Other business included budget transfers and budget timelines from Ms. Sheridan and an MOU update from the Health Department and Unit B contracts. The school committee plans to meet again following the new year. Wednesday night, the Conservation Commission met and began with a public hearing regarding a single-family home in the buffer zone of a bordering vegetated wetland. Following the hearing, the Commission discussed current and expired order of conditions regarding the confirmation of wetland resources area boundaries at 83 Morse Street. To end the meeting, reported and ongoing violations were discussed. The next meeting will be after the new year. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org.